At its peak, Dragon Age: The Veilguard had a Steam rating of around 80%. And for days now, it's been steadily declining, back down to around 70. And it looks like the public opinion over on the Dragon Age subreddit is also starting to shift. You may have seen previously how Asmongold posted that he was excited to play Dragon Age Veilguard over on that subreddit, to which he was extremely swiftly banned from the entire thing. Apparently, moderators even went on to set some auto-mod function up that instantly banned anyone subscribed to Asmon's subreddit too. Then I saw some reports from a few other subreddits that this was also occurring there, where similarly anyone subscribed to those subreddits were also automatically banned from our Dragon Age. It looks like people over on our Dragon Age really didn't want any negative opinions about the game being posted there. There were a few critique posts I saw getting through, but they were only like the most mild of critiques, and they were few and far between, especially when compared to the overwhelming amount of posts there that were just shilling for the game. As mentioned a moment ago, however, it looks like things are starting to change. Either they've given up trying to keep it just an echo chamber, or the game's biggest offenders are finally admitting that the game's not as good as they were trying to say it is. It's like the facade is being dropped. Perhaps what's going on is a combination of both things. Regardless, let's take a look. From 21 hours ago, a top post reads, "Soft reboot, devoid of life." So obviously avoided spoilers in the intro to this post, but I'll delve into some in-game spoilers later. This game doesn't feel like a Dragon Age game. It feels like a spin-off made by writers who didn't read the material beforehand or who hate this game. Let it be known the entire game's not bad. Solus has some good moments, but overall the writing and story are a dumpster fire. A good example is Morgan. Morgan in Origins was a distant, cold, but somewhat caring individual once she got to know you. The crew slowly turns her to be kinder as time goes on. And if she had Kieran, a popular choice with the Warden usually, she ends up being a far more caring figure. In Inquisition, where we see her next, even without Kieran, she's grown slightly warmer, if only because of her affection for the hero of Faldrin, and her friends like Leliana. And yet Veilguard feels like it's butchered that in a way. You see her in-game as a deus ex machina. She appears when the plot demands it, drops off lore and tidbits, and leaves. You can have no interactions with her outside of cutscenes, and can't prod her or get to know her as the Inquisitor did. Did she have Kieran and marry the Warden? It's implied that she at least had Kieran because Solus takes a massive portion of power from Mythal, and she's at her strongest with that plot point, but the game makes no effort to actually speak about this. And the Warden, who is teased to be hunting a Kieran Inquisition, is not mentioned. Did he live, die, cured, or not? We'll never know. Not that it matters by the halfway point of the game. So much of this game feels empty and devoid of life because the NPCs sit around doing nothing, and the NPCs we know from previous games either don't act the way we expect them to, or are so distant from who they used to be, it makes no sense. Even Morgan, who was in character, wasn't given a chance to finish her plot thread. Kieran basically doesn't exist, and the game treats all of the prequels to this as if they're taboo topics. I feel like even if this game's writing and story were better, which I don't think it does, it wouldn't get close to what the previous games had because the world feels devoid of all life and care once put into it. And the ending really helped cement the idea that they did this to distance themselves as much as they could from the Dragon Age keep, and the Sea of Choice is transferred over. From just 9 hours ago, another top post reads, "Am I the only one who can't stand Tosh? I needed a place to vent. Just got done with the scene where I had to play peacemaker between them and Emmerich, and the nerve on this Canary. They're constantly portrayed as this moody, angsty teenager and trash on everyone else, but especially Emmerich. I get being wary of necromancy, but the guy hasn't earned the bullying Tosh was giving him. In fact, Tosh comes across as the bully to everyone. How old are they supposed to be anyway, 18? I'm trying to be patient with them and see through the end of their storyline, but it doesn't help that Rook can't call them out on their behavior at all. It can only be nice to them. It's like the writers were playing favorites and made sure Tosh was protected." Yeah, Tosh overall has to be one of the weirdest things about Veilguard. It's hilarious that the devs have tried to push Tosh as this like flagship character of the game, but the character just sucks. And I'll never get over how creepy this thumbnail is. Like, what were they thinking? Heck, even their storyline is so far the most boring. Like, we went to explore Dragon Nest where I thought we would finally get to see their dragon hunting skills in action, and nothing. It was another therapy session. I'm sorry, I know some people might enjoy those scenes or relate to them, but I can't bring myself to care about their storyline at all. At this point, I don't even care that they're hunting a dragon or whatever. Darvin and I already took down an Archdemon anyway, and if I need dragon hunting tips, I can always ask the Inquisitor. Sucks that all companions are essential. I would have sent Tosh packing ages ago. Wonder if that's why the writers made them essential. Dang, so yeah, that post absolutely destroyed Tosh. Get wrecked.
That's why we recruited her.
Actually, Tosh uses them for themselves now.
They asked us to let folks know, so now you do.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Thank you for telling me. That's why we recruited them.
So yeah, I think we've all seen the barf misgendering scene, but there was another one. They're like shoving in as many of these things as they possibly can. The comments are hilarious. This game is so cringe, it's ridiculous. Is this real? This gotta be a joke. DEI simulator. That's why I play Space Marine. That's why. Hopping back over to the Dragon Age subreddit and the post about Tosh that we just read, one of the top responses says, yeah, kinda ironic how a non-binary character that has a whole arc about her pronouns is forcing a label on Emmerich and refusing to call him what he identifies as, even after telling Tosh it upsets him when he's called Death Mage / Corpse Guy instead of his name. Tosh's response is, what, you are a Death Mage? Can no one in the writer's room see the irony here? Once again, I'm reminded of multiple occasions where these weirdo Twitter activist types of people were getting all mad about femboy characters. A few months ago, there was like this femboy anime that came out, and they kept misgendering him as a woman, saying it's a trans woman. Some of the people misgendering this character were even trans women. You'd think they would want to, gender people properly, but nah, to them it was okay when they do it. Talk about double standards. And then, of course, way before that, there was the situation with that femboy manga, where the localizers similarly turned the femboy character into a trans woman. The rights holders getting so upset, they forced it to get translated again the proper way, but you had some localizers defending the mistranslation, including that Katrina lady. Anyways, continuing with comments on the Tosh post, this one reads, very juvenile type character. Supposed to be early 20s, but they act like 14 years old. Really weird that you can romance someone with that sort of personality. It's like romancing a child. Blech. Tosh is someone's self-insert or wish fulfillment character that's designed to exist so they can teach everyone how to treat non-binary folk, except they made them super unlikable and creepy. The character is a jerk unnecessarily to innocent people. They're hypocrites who don't respect others enough to use their names. And because this game is designed by people who don't want you to be mean ever, you can't call them out on it in a way that makes sense. It's all acceptance or pivoting. I firmly believe that if it were possible to not recruit companions, get rid of them, kill them beforehand, early on, etc., etc., Tosh would be one of the most disposed of companions in the game, if not the absolute most removed from all the pushback fans have been given about how they were handled. Every time I type their name, my autocorrect almost changes it to trash, and while I would never call them that, the way the character behaves and is handled certainly lives up to that autocorrection. That's on the writers, and whoever decided this character was a good idea. I mean, look, if the character's trash, then the character's trash. Nothing wrong with calling him trash. It's a trash character. It's junk. It's terrible. It's garbage. Moving on, we have another top post. This one from 19 hours ago. A significant percentage of the dialogue in this game is one of these 3 lines. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Every day in conversation, at least one comes up. People in Northern Thetis are very polite. While the echo chamber is starting to crack over on our Dragon Age, 3 days ago, that wasn't quite the case. This post being made instead over on our RPG game, saying, I played Dragon Age Veilguard. Goodness grief, man. I've been an avid RPG for probably... You've been an RPG? Probably RPG fan. That sounds funny, though. I've been an avid RPG for probably centuries now. Wait, what? Hold up. That doesn't make any sense even as fans. This guy's freaking some like centuries old person. I don't even know, but okay, continuing. Played the Mass Effect trilogy, Dragon Age Origins to Inquisition, Witcher 1 through 3, Wasteland 3, Persona 5 Royal, etc., etc. Somehow I never felt disinterested the longer I kept playing an RPG before. The more I play this game, the more draining it gets. It gets tiring. I'm probably 20 hours into this game now. Yeah, dude, this game freaking hurt this person's mind. Like, their brain is suffering, and we can already tell. I feel bad for this person. Too much Veilguard. Man thinks he's like 300 years old or something. I don't know if it's the vision or the art direction of this game. The essence of what makes Dragon Age doesn't exist here. Like, it's wearing the skin of Dragon Age, or it should be some other fantasy game. The writing in this is just mediocre. Like, I'm supposed to be invested in my party members' questline, but I find them to not be compelling. They're just talking, and dialogue feels like they're conveying information to you rather than it being organic and natural. The writing is not mature enough to even tackle certain topics and themes. You feel the writing is leagues apart when you compare this to DA Origins, or Witcher 3, or Baldur's Gate 3. Examples such as these games had passion all over its writing quality, and doesn't treat the audience's intelligence like a child. The combat's just basic, and that's about it. It's flashy prime and detonation combo, the builds can be varied, but there isn't any tactical RPG aspect or lacking thereof to the combat. I'm just rushing through the main story. Afterwards, I go back to Metaphor ReFantazio, which is a great JRPG that came out recently. Maybe I revisit Veilguard some other time, or just play the previous Dragon Age titles. It's best to probably not expect the good old BioWare glory days of clever, intriguing writing. Maybe I shouldn't. Back then, game developers cared about giving us a good story, told with love, care, passion, and integrity, and not forcing agendas. Well, it's not the 2000 era anymore. So this guy got over 800 upvotes, and this like 2 heart award thingies. Top response saying, my biggest issue with Veilguard is that we waited about 10 years for the next Dragon Age game, and this is what they have to show for it. No player world states, dumbed down RPG elements, dumbed down story, idiotic design choices, etc. If it wasn't specifically Dragon Age or not marketed as a literal follow-up to Inquisition, people would probably be more forgiving, but from a developer previously known for great works only, is just disappointing. Really disheartening to see my former favorite series slowly wither away. So yeah, as you can see, things are just getting worse and worse for Veilguard, even on the main Dragon Age subreddit. As mentioned at the very start, the Steam reviews are also trending down. But let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments. Also consider liking and or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed my coverage. Appreciate ya, and I'll see you in the next one.